Well,
Yeah.
it's 34 including. No. Is it including
No,
Chris's books?
including.
Yeah, including some cookbooks from our friend
Including
over here.
cookbooks.
Right. What we failed to mention, maybe because we were saving it for last, is that Chris actually has a small role. Maybe is
I
it
do,
small
yeah,
in the
No.
program?
I was
It's-
invited to be a
it's
part
the
of
best
it
part.
when I started working. No, it's definitely not the best part. It's a part, which I do every year. I'm thankful to be a part of this, even though I haven't worked in Olympia in a little while. But yeah, I do talk about cookbooks, which is the only book genre that I have any sort of knowledge about. So if you do talk cookbooks, I can definitely do that with you. So I brought a couple today. I'm on the holds list for a few more. I always get to this like late in the year and end up kind of like waiting for the popular ones so I can look at them because I don't think about it early enough, and then I'm on the holds list with everybody else. So I know that Simon Nostrat has come out with one this year. Mira Soda has a new one. She did East.
Ooh,
I
I
don't know
like
if you've
East.
seen that. Yeah.
East is great. I
I
own
know
East.
you and I are both big fans of that one, but I'm on the list for those two. So I just brought a couple. The first one is called Salt, Sugar, MSGs by Calvin Eng. And what caught my eye about this one initially, this came out relatively early in the year, is that on the cover, for those of you who are listening to this and not watching on YouTube, it's got a chicken dish with what appears to be Pringles sprinkled around this whole Pringles. And I love any cookbook author, restaurateur who celebrates ingredients like that, the lowlier ingredients. So your Pringles, your Velveeta, your hot dogs, stuff like that, and kind of mixes it in with more, highbrow ingredients. And he does a really good job of that. They are Pringles. There's also a recipe in there for pigs in a blanket with milk bread, wrapping, and I just love that kind of thing. And the recipes are really accessible for the home cook too. I think that's something you have to be cautious of with cookbook authors who started with a successful restaurant. So he has a restaurant in Brooklyn called Bonnie, which is named after his mom. He's a first generation Cantonese American. So it's kind of like celebrating his background and her cooking. But with people who had a restaurant first, they're not always like good at writing recipes that are accessible from the home cook. And I can think of some, examples that I will not denigrate on the podcast, but I'm always a little bit skeptical going into it with any book like that. But these are they're approachable recipes. I mean, something like, pigs in a blanket. There's a cachaui pepe that is kind of has a fermented bean curd ingredient in there. I haven't made that one yet. It's called fuyu. But it really, and in that recipe, he talks about the similarities between the kind of cooking that he does and Italian cooking, where we don't have a lot of ingredients and you're kind of highlighting one main thing and like celebrating that ingredient. So, and of course, the main, the title ingredients, salt, sugar, and MSG. MSG, much maligned, but magical ingredient when you get used to using it, is celebrated throughout the book as well. So this is a really excellent book if you like exploring Chinese cooking or Cantonese cooking, or if you just kind of want some kind of creative combinations. And I should have actually bookmarked more in here, but it's a library copy, so I didn't dog ear or anything. The one I haven't made yet, but I really need to make for my wife, is the iced black sesame milk. Like, we're real big black sesame fans in my household. There was one other one that I really wanted to talk about, and I gotta find it. Oh yes, there's the rotisserie chicken congee is one that I really like. If you are feeling like it's soup season, it's it's cold, it's dark, it's wet, congee is one of like the best soup adjacent dishes you can make at this time of year. So basically like liquid rice almost, and you can put any kind of topping on it. So he puts rotisserie chicken on there, but whatever you have at home, you can put whatever protein on top of a congee, and it's going to be fantastic. So
Do you make the stock from the bones of the rotisserie chicken you buy?
I do, yes.
Good man.
What is a Costco rotisserie chicken if not a basis
You're not
for
getting
stock?
all of it.
Yes, exactly. So that's Salt, Sugar, MSG by Calvin Eng. And the next one I'm going to talk about is one of my favorite cookbooks in a long time. The author of this one, basically she's a co-author essentially, originally got noticed on social media when, I don't know if you remember this, you're chronically online. So I think it was maybe late 23 or early 24 when there was a trend to find the Trader Joe's gimbap. Do you remember anything about this?
Keep talking. Maybe it'll
It's
come to
selling
me.
out at all the Trader Joe's, and it's like a frozen gimbap. So if you don't know what gimbap is, I want to say it's like Korean sushi, but she even talks about this in the book where that's not really an apt comparison. But if you want to imagine what it looks like, it's seaweed wrapped rice with fillings. So, and in one of the reels, and she posted this on TikTok and went viral. She goes to Trader Joe's and gets the gimbap and takes it home, and she and her mom eat it and are like pleasantly surprised that this is like actually really good. Her mom is like, "Oh, this is better than some of the Korean markets that we go to." And that really took off. And for a while, you couldn't find that at any Trader Joe's. I actually went to Trader Joe's yesterday knowing that we were going to do this. And like, maybe I can finally find it.
The new one?
Yes, the new one on Slater Kinney. And I did. I found it. So I had it last night, and it is actually really good. I don't have a microwave, but I improvised there. And it's surprising how good it is. So that's how she got kind of famous. And the handle is Honest Kitchen. So Sarah Ahn is her name, Ahn. And so the pun is, on the sound of her last name. And her mom has a background in working in restaurants. She owned a restaurant for a while in Southern California, but has mostly just like a very experienced home cook. And if you watch some of her content, you just can tell that her mom has these like decades of kitchen wisdom. When like the matriarch of the family has been cooking her whole life for her family, and just watching her move, watching her cook is just fascinating. Like this knowledge is like, you just want to get more of it.
Mind you, he hasn't even named the book yet.
I haven't.
know.
I'm leading
I
into
fear
it.
that we're in a new podcast.
I know. Anyway, I got into her content that way through the gimbap viral craze, and was watching, kind of all the time watching these celebrations of her mom's cooking, and like thinking this has to be a cookbook eventually. Like at some point she's going to take this, newfound attention and turn it into a cookbook. And she started posting more content where she got to kind of visit family in Korea and pulled in some more of her relatives to do some like baking content. And I think this is absolutely setting the stage for a cookbook. Lo and behold, a cookbook was announced, and I have never pre-ordered something so fast in my life. I'm not waiting for this
Slam that button.
to come in to the library and review it. Like, it's gonna be good. And it is. So I'll
What is
reveal
it
the title of it
called?
now. It's called Omma by Sarah and Namsoon An. Namsoon is her mom. And the whole book is dedicated, obviously to celebrating her mom's Korean home cooking. She talks about like how her mom chooses ingredients, some of her like techniques in the kitchen, her like approach to cooking in general, as well as all of the recipes in the book. And it is also kind of just poignant, like the storytelling that goes along with it, because she is very conscious of sort of celebrating her mom, but with this sort of realization that she's doing this in part because her mom's not always going to be around. And she's really kind of like shining a light on the fact that this is kind of memorializing her mom in a way and allowing her to kind of participate in the celebration of, of her upbringing and all of these like positive memories that she associates with food. So if you like that kind of aspect of a cookbook, and some cookbooks do it better than others, but there really is this kind of intimacy that you kind of see with their relationship. Because I watched the cookbook, the story of its creation on social media, so kind of get like a behind the scenes look into how it was put together. But she really is doing this kind of like with her mother. And the recipes themselves, like I don't have a pantry that's stocked the way, a Korean home cook would. So there's recipes in here that are not necessarily accessible if you don't have some of those ingredients, or you're not used to making banchan, so the little Korean side dishes that come with every meal. There's a lot of banchan in there, and her mom makes these in like large batches, and takes seasonal ingredients and uses them over time. And that's not typically how I cook, but there are plenty of accessible recipes in here as well. There's a kimchi grilled cheese that is fantastic. So that's one of the most accessible recipes in the whole thing. I'm a fried rice guy, so there's some excellent fried rice recipes in here. There's one with basically spinach and rice that uses a little bit of butter in it as well, which I think is kind of unique. So I'm a real big into that. Anyway, I love it. It's fantastic. If I could pick one book to kind of do the whole Julia Child thing, I would
Cook the whole thing.
Yeah, I would cook everything from this one. That would be quite the undertaking, but yeah.
You can see why we ask him to do a little cookbook spotlight in Best Books
now
every
I'm kind of like
year.
watching myself. I don't want to keep going, but Oma by Sarah and Namsoon An. Check it out.
I know somebody that
Yes.
would recoil at you mentioning butter in that rice dish.
Hey, it was new to me. Actually, it's mentioned in Salt, Sugar, MSG as well. He has a canned corn fried rice that uses butter, and it's I don't know.
Interesting.
It was interesting to me. I wouldn't have thought to use it, but like that's intriguing. It adds a kind of a unique element, but you obviously have to kind of watch your heat doing fried rice.
One thing I've always liked about you in all the years we've worked together is you make me feel like I have command of brevity. And I appreciate that.
That you do.
Once I start, it's hard to stop.
We love that about you, though, Chris. That's the